All right, we're out here. We're going to talk about spring lawn care with Booker T. Lee.
Okay.
He's our lawn guy. All right, so how do you want us to get started? What's the first thing we need to do when it comes down to lawn care in the spring?
In the spring, one of the first things we need to do now, Chris, now a lot of folks outside now start cutting the grass kind of early.
Okay.
You know, they're cutting the grass kind of early. They're trying to get all that dead grass out of there.
Sure.
You know, and what I like to do on that, I like to bag that first grass cutting.
Okay.
You know, and get all that out of there. If all the cold weather gone, I like to try to cut it kind of low. Then another thing we make a mistake of doing, we have our lawnmower blade. We have our lawnmower blade. Now you look at this blade here, that's a dub blade. Now, but you need to get your lawnmower blade sharp. You need to have at least sharp twice a year during the growing season, during the cutting season. And I do mine. I take it off the lawnmower and take it to this place, let them get them sharp. They only charge me like $5 or $6.
Okay.
You know, and that's real good. And you can tell the difference in the grass cut once you get that mower blade sharp.
Right, because you're not beating it down.
You're not beating it down.
Clean
You're
cut.
cutting it down. Then you're cutting it. So then another mistake that we make early, we cut our grass the same way every time.
Right.
You know, if you can go out there and cut that grass different ways and make it stand up, and when you start adding fertilizer to the grass and watering the lawn, it get down to the soil where you want it to go to do some good thing in there.
Okay.
And another thing we see now is fertilizer. And on the back of fertilizer, you don't see 3 numbers, Doc. You don't see 3, like 13, 13, 13.
Okay.
That's ammonia, that's nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium.
Okay.
And most times your grass now, if you use nitrogen fertilizer, it's used nitrogen in a lot amount.
Okay.
You know, and a lot of times when you do your soil test, they might not give you a reading in nitrogen, because nitrogen kind of mobile in the soil.
Right.
It's kind of move around a lot in the soil.
Okay.
But your phosphorus and potassium, based on your soil test, when you put that down,
Okay.
because they can build up in the soil and stuff in there. And a lot of times people make a lot of mistakes when they start fertilizing their lawn. And they see ammonium nitrate, 3400.
Oh, yeah.
You might see on there sometimes saying, don't put on that established lawn and all that.
Right.
You know ammonium nitrate.
It'll burn.
It'll burn. If you put it down, don't water it in, it don't burn your grass up.
Right.
But when you put ammonium nitrate down, you need to put the recommended rate down. If you tell you on somewhere, you don't put a whole lot down on there. You want to water it in good.
Okay.
And water it in good. If not, it can burn your grass up.
Right.
And that's why they're protecting that. You don't want to burn your grass up when you put it down.
Right.
You know, you need to water it in and everything.
Okay.
And another mistake that we make, you know, when people put fertilizer down, they get on the side. Well, let me show you how they do it, what they mess around and do here.
Okay. You need some help with that?
Yeah, let me just pour this a bit in this container here, just a little bit.
Wait.
See how it look in there? I hope it come out of here. Oh, that's good right there. Right. We don't just do the demonstration of what you don't want to have when you're putting your fertilizer down. And most time, based on your soil test, when you get it back, they'll tell you how much to put down. A lot of time it's based on 5,000 square feet, 1,000 square feet. And they got a knob on here and you can set that gauge to
Just set it.
how much you want to put down on that area.
Okay.
And one thing that we normally do, you see this sidewalk here? A lot of people get on the hill, you hold it back, and get on that sidewalk. We don't want to get on that sidewalk like that. That's something we don't want to do. Because if you get on that sidewalk, when it's raining, it can wash your way into the thing.
Right.
You want
Because we don't want to poison those fish that are down there.
Won't poison that
when we
fish
go
in
down
there.
the storm water system.
in there.
All right.
Another time you need to set it, make sure when you go down, you don't get in where you want to get right in your soil. You like this here. And you put it down, and you know right there, you see where they're putting out at. You don't want to overlap a lot. You're putting it down there, so you want to stop and cover the entire thing. But the most important thing is reading that soil test and putting down the right amount.
Okay.
And another thing, don't put it down when it's raining.
Oh, like
Yeah, you don't put that when it's raining.
Okay.
Because one of the things you want to do, because what happens, when the grass is wet, what can happen, it can stick to the blade of the grass and burn the grass blade. So you want to make sure that you put it down when it's dry.
Okay.
And most times you might want to water it in too, put the fertilizer in there.
Okay.
And stuff in there.
Okay.
And another thing we're talking about again, thatch.
All right.
Thatch in your lawn. You got a lot of thatch.
And why do we have thatch in our lawns?
A lot of
What
times,
causes that?
a lot of times people leave a lot of dead grass on the lawn, leaves over a period of time built up in there,
Right.
grass clipping. And what we recommend that you cut your grass, remove no more than 1/3 of the grass blade off there.
Okay.
Sometimes people let the grass get real tall,
Right.
and then they cut it and leave all that on the lawn.
Okay.
Now that, how you can do, you got a little garden, you got a little small area, you can get the garden and rick it out of there. See that, all that dead grass come out of there? You can do that, you can move thatch out of there. If you got a lot of thatch in there, you can rake that out of there and get that dead grass out of there. And you get all that dead grass out there, and right here you can put this in your compost pile.
Okay.
And also you have been aerated, you can do here, aerate it some. No, loosen your soil up.
So for Bermuda, we need to start doing that when?
In May, probably about the middle of May, and you got a cool season grass, might want to do that in September. But you want to make sure the grass is actually beginning to grow, because you want to expose those root system to the winter all year long.
Okay. Let me ask you this, then why do we aerate?
A lot of times when grass area get compact, compact then because you might have a lawn service on that ran across on the tractor, patting your grass down. You might cut your grass when it's wet or something like that. So you want to aerate it for loosen that soil up.
Loosen the soil up.
Lean the soil up for your nutrients get down to the soil, to the root system of the grass, and doing that.
Okay.
And
look, we appreciate that hard work, man. We'll see you out there.
Man, I'm tired now, man. I need to get in shape. What can I do? I need to get more in shape, but that's how you do that. And then we can do that, use a garden tool at our house, a record center.
Okay.
And do that.
All right, we appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
All right.